If you use Google Images for any reason, you may have stumbled across an image like this at some point. Not ringing a bell? Maybe something more like this, or this? A jumbled bunch of nonsense text in an ancient meme format, all stemming from one site, memeshappen.com. It may not look like much, but this site's bizarre existence has captivated me for nearly a year at this point, and I think I've finally gotten to the bottom of it. This isn't going to be even remotely geography related, but I think that watching a place devolve into insanity at the hands of its overlord is fitting for this channel regardless. So sit back and relax as I dive into the weird and insane rabbit hole of memeshappen.com and detail the life and perpetual undeath of this website. No, I'm not really sure where to start here. I could start with the beginning of the website, but I feel like that won't do this site justice, for reasons that you'll see soon enough. So we're gonna do this in the same way I learned about this site. It'll be all over the place, but hey, I can't tell any narrative better than the one I found myself. I found memeshappen.com while I was looking for pictures of the character Noelle from the game Deltarune. I saw this in Google Images and audibly said something along the lines of, "What the fuck is this garbage?" to a crowded voice chat. Thus, the exploration began. I clicked on the site and, So this site is a lot to take in at once. It's a garbled mishmash of auto-playing fart porn, stolen memes from Reddit, birthday greetings, and other wild garbage. You may ask yourself, what the fuck? And that's a fair question to ask. This format is bad, but I'm going to do my best to explain what each portion means before I move on to the content itself. On the left side of the screen are tags, unceremoniously attempting to rip off Reddit's gimmick even though they don't function anything like each other. It's just image tags, these aren't subreddits. As far as I can tell, every tag generated creates another one of these tub-reddits? I don't know how to edit them in any capacity. I feel like being logged into this site for long enough would give my computer the scabies. Speaking of logging in, that's to the top right. The strange thing about Memeshappen is that despite having multiple users, it doesn't actually have a way to make an account. You can only log in using Facebook and Google, which generates a random number as your user tag. Your memes don't even show up if you post using one of these accounts. I tried. So, who are all these people? They're clearly people posting, or at least they were a year ago. Well, that's a bit of a complicated question, and I need to explain the purge first. About 6 months ago, the last 6 months' worth of content was purged from Memeshappen and all new posts were shadow banned. Nobody can make anything on the site anymore, possibly including the owner, a man named Ahmed. I have two sources that confirm this man's existence, one being that the site is littered with memes referencing a big man named Ahmed who makes all the rules. The other is the Google Play download link for the Memeshappen app, which has been removed and is unfortunately not archived. The app didn't list Ahmed as the creator, but the only 5-star review for the app came from an account named Ahmed Wida with only that review to his name. Since it's unarchived, you'll have to take my word for that, but here's the screenshot. Anyway, this guy presumably purged the site and blocked all future posts, for whatever reason. So, all the posts are from a year ago at this point, but they still weren't from normal users. Facebook and Google users were able to post then, it looks like, but most of the posts came from named users. Named users with some interesting profiles? Wait, what the fuck? Meet 3ClicksPhilip. There's also 2ClicksPhilip and regular old ClicksPhilip on this site. These are very, very obviously not the real Three Amigos. If not because you literally cannot make an account on this site, because 3ClicksPhilip told me himself on Twitter that they don't have anything to do with this. This isn't really important to the overall story, but I thought it was fun to mention. So, by now you probably have a decent grip on the site as a whole, but not a whole lot of explanations for it all. There's still one more piece of the puzzle, though, and it was the most baffling for me for the longest time. If you scroll down, you'll eventually find the wall. I spent a long time puzzling over the wall, trying to figure out its meaning, and for good reason. It's complete fucking nonsense. Like, actual fucking nonsense. Past a certain point, every meme is posted by the same Memeshappen account and seems to be completely randomly generated gibberish over the same few meme templates. Over, and over, and over again. It doesn't end. I've scrolled for a long time here and never actually found the end of this wall. To a lesser person, this would break them, but I took this as a challenge. This type of shit is what brought me here in the first place, and I think I've finally figured this whole thing out. Before I go piecing this puzzle together, we need to recap our entire dilemma. We have a site that doesn't have any users, hasn't been used for a year, and eventually devolves into this absolute madness once you scroll down far enough. There's no way to make sense of this, right? It can't be domain squatting, and this domain isn't even a good one. What's up with all this nonsense posting? If Ahmed was just squatting on it, that's a lot of bandwidth being used on these nonsense images. Well, believe it or not, with a little elbow grease, I was able to actually find out what I think is the truth behind this cognitohazard. Let's start from the beginning, for real this time. Memes Happen began sometime around 2012, with the earliest capture on the Wayback Machine being in November of that year. It looks a lot different now. This whole time I had been thinking that the name sounded familiar, and this is why. It used to be one of those advice animal sites. You know, I Can Ask Cheeseburger, Fail Blog, that kind of shit. I'd been on this site when I was a teenager, and despite the fact that this is peak 2012 web design, it wasn't bad for that time. Now, you don't need me to tell you that meme generator sites fell out of style. ImageFlip is basically the only one that matters anymore, and Memes Happen was nowhere near that crown. So, in late 2020, they rebranded. They made the current layout and tried to make a social network out of it. This solves two of our problems to some extent. In a late revision to the website before 2020's big change, you could actually make an account on the site, so all the ones posting after the fact were probably holdovers from the old layout, if you ignore the fact that there was no login for them. There's also a tab on the old site that solves our problems with the wall, the newest memes section. Notice anything familiar? Yep, it's the same type of nonsense memes that were being posted en masse to the new site in the wall. I can't really confirm 100%, but my theory here is that every meme generated with this, even if not saved, was pushed to the newest meme queue on the old site, which is a bad idea if you have even the slightest web design knowledge. When they made the new site, they must have just put up a script to automatically fill the new site up with the old posts. That's why there's so much garbage at the bottom of this trash can. It'd eat up server space, but if you were trying to make a social media network, you'd ideally have the space to spare. And it helps with search engine optimization. That just leaves us with one burning question. What went wrong here? Why would you redesign your website and then just give up entirely? Why purge and lock your attempt at a social media site once it starts getting the smallest amount of attention? You would think that if they were redesigning the site, they'd at least moderate the content, but no, it's just fart porn all the way down. Well, there's one piece of evidence that I've kept from you all, and it cracks the case wide open. I don't want to say with 100% certainty that this is the truth, because I don't want to be sued, but if it wasn't the case, I would be surprised. As it turns out, even with an account, it's impossible to upload pictures to the new layout of the site, and with no meme generator anymore and no text posts, how the hell did any of the old users post on this new site? Well, when you've examined every solution and only one is possible, that one's gotta be right. If that's the case, then the answer is simple. They didn't. From the very start of this redesign, Memes Happen has been an elaborate puppet show made to look like a shitty meme site. The thing is, it's not. There's only one person on this site that can post images, and that man's name is Ahmed Wida, so we have to consider the possibility that every single post on this site, past the wall of automated images, is made by one person on different accounts. It's not infeasible, there's only a dozen or so posts on the most busy days of the site's history, and if no one else could post, it had to have been someone with access to the HTML. Think about it. Nowhere on this site does it mention Ahmed Wida as the owner of this site, but the memes constantly reference him. Where did they get the information from? Well, they had to have known the guy, and who knows someone better than themselves? I know this is sounding a little Metal Gear Solid. Someone takes an old website and converts it to a one-man play to fool a non-existent user base into thinking it's a meme website. The thing is, I can actually prove it. This is the IP of memeshappen.com, or at time of writing, it was the IP of memeshappen.com. This is a Cloudflare IP, which switch every few days, so it's probably different now. The IP is located in Stockholm, Sweden, which isn't particularly important but could make sense of the broken English on the site. The important part is this. This IP is blacklisted for spam as of a few seconds ago. What this means is this IP is sending out enough spam and phishing emails that some internet service providers block it outright. That's right, this whole thing is a front for a scam email business. A scam email business that uses the names of whatever users were created before the site turned to the dark side, and also the clicks Philip click. Somehow, I don't think they want their name attached to this. Let's take it from the top. In 2012, the site memeshappen.com opens to mild success. It's a meme generator website with the usual fixins. There's nothing particularly special about it, but hey, it's funny, so it gets the job done. Over the years, it dwindles in popularity and most of the original owners move on, leaving one Ahmed Wida as the owner of the site. Ahmed can see that the meme generator isn't paying the bills anymore and hatches another plan, using a lot of accumulated user data to put it into motion. The site is redesigned as a faux social media platform that looks unassuming, if fucking awful from a glance. Nobody can post, but nobody's expected to stay long enough to figure that out. If anyone checks the place out, they won't think anything's amiss. At the same time, the site's IP is used to farm spam emails to whoever is receiving these. Probably former users of the site or just randos. To keep up the illusion that everything's operating as a social media site, the spammer posts a few memes every day from a random account to make it look normal. And also fart porn. I guess they just use it to host whatever eventually. This goes as planned until about 6 months ago, when something or someone purged the system. Nobody can post now, but the spam continues, and that's where we are now. I've run across my fair share of sketchy websites before, but this one has gotta be one of the weirdest I've ever fucking seen. The amount of effort put into masking the spam operation while also missing the point of being inconspicuous is insane to me. Before I did my research into this, I'd probably end this video on a recommendation, because this site is a lot of fun with friends to goof on it. It's so bizarre and incomprehensible, even knowing what's up with it. You never knew what you were gonna see. Now, I can't really say the same. It's still funny, but I really don't think you want to be put onto a Swedish spam bots list. I guess report this to the internet police or something, or don't, I don't really care. If your computer gets athlete's foot, that's on you. Anyway, that's all. Hey, if you like this video, or at least my sense of humor, why not subscribe? This isn't what I normally post, but you can check out what I normally post right here. Leave a like if you had a good time, leave a comment if you have one, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, sorry if you could hear me being sick. I am sick. So, yeah. Hopefully I will have cut off all my coughs and shit. Thanks for watching.